Scorpio, welcome to your reading for May 27th through June 3rd. I was kind of giggling when I got into your energy because I feel like there is a connection in your life that is really making you look at life differently and looking at how different things are from how you ever imagined that they would be, which, we love that. That's great. However, the cognitive dissonance that comes underneath it of like this layer of feeling unsettled because this newness is making us feel uncertain. And all we have to do is be mindful of our intuition. I had you guys written down and then I erased what house the sun is in for you. Oh, it's in your 8th house. We're coming into new levels of intimacy in dealing with ourselves. Yeah. There is maybe even some fertility or someone who you want to connect with in that way of creating life together, whether that's business and partnership, marriage, huna. Those are looking like ovaries. So the moon starts out in Capricorn and it climbs through this third decan of the zodiac this week ahead. And with the sun starting out at 6 degrees Gemini, moon in Capricorn, you guys are feeling into how your day-to-day groove is. And we're looking at the depth of partnership. So how has the needle been moved forward? How has it grown? How has your relationship come to this point where you have a new level of trust, not just with yourself, but with a loved one? Venus at 4 degrees Gemini is asking us to really feel invigorated within our partnerships, to feel like, we're worth changing because we've changed, and we were always worth it. We were always the one that was like, magnetic with people, and people couldn't take our eyes off of us, but maybe you guys set out to conquer, and you kind of did this Age of Aries motivation with a lot of your initial years of life. If you're young, if you're pre-Saturn return, you have to look at where you're motivated by a need to conquer rather than a need to be magnetic and draw things to you. Cosmic heart. And then mantra shakti. So there is a need for drawing in this greater force of love and a resurgence of it. Let's look at Mars Day. Things are really heating up because Mars is in the 3rd decan of Aries, which is your 6th house. So again, your day-to-day life is perking up. We're taking new steps. We are showing up in the outer world different than we ever have. We have new responsibilities. And we need to have compassion for others mainly, and for ourselves to start, because when we do that, we set a tone. We set a standard for other people to be able to come and approach us, Scorpio, in ways that don't put them off. Venus moves to 5 degrees Gemini, which is within 5 degrees, an immense tortoise with jewels inlaid in its back. So how is your life taking on new motivations to maintain the standard of regalness, of being someone that people can come to? Like, a king needs to be someone, or a queen needs to be someone who's diplomatic, who doesn't get caught up in their emotions. But then when you have your emotions, you have your tools, you have your meditation, you have mantras, you have compassion for things that don't really pan out, for things that don't break through. We have that detachment. I was just listening to a Yogananda lecture, and he said that all kinds of disciples would come. Some people wouldn't stay and they would move on, and he would always just remain hopeful for people but not attached to their success. Again, because the focus was on him and his guru, as they say. Okay, so Mars at 21 degrees Aries is pastel flags fluttering in the breeze. So there is a new sense of peace that you guys have in your day-to-day life with Mars approaching Chiron. Again, those motivations for competition, for, superiority, those are kind of not as inspiring anymore, Scorpio. On Mercury Day, let's look at that. Mercury is in Taurus, and for you all, this is your house of relationships. So you have a new sense of ability to convey passion without being scary and without being so dominating, which I'm sure is refreshing for your loved ones. Sun at 8 degrees Gemini, we are seeing that no matter how we look at this divine feminine, if it's us, we are seeing this new level of beauty. And I feel that that is a connection with the divine. That is prayer, that is meditation, that is solitude, that is knowing when to, choosing your battles wisely, when to really stand your ground, and when to allow for people to reveal themselves and situations to turn in your favor, because you're holding this force that is motivated by love, which is really beautiful. We have the Hermit. So again, that prayer, meditation, solitude came through very clearly for you guys. And on Mercury Day, Mercury at 20 degrees Taurus, let's look at that inside degree. Things feel like they're picking up for you guys. You guys are not stagnant. You guys are very much flowing with good ideas. I want to say magma-like. It's very hot. It's very just you continue to churn and to remain rooted to this core of motivation of love. So it's moving you forward really passionately. 20 degrees Taurus, a fork in the road with a blank signpost. So it's saying that you're now navigating new territory, and you have to kind of gauge what's happening, like your experience, based on how you feel. Let love transform. So this is not my favorite painting, but it looks like there's a figure beckoning a group of people in, and there's like people coming back and forth. So maybe you're growing your business, your connections. Sun is in your 8th house, so contracts with people, and then Venus is very close to the sun. So we're gaining confidence from these connections. We're gaining confidence from these contracts. And then we're also, with Jupiter moving to 0 degrees Gemini, we are being rewarded with a depth of insight, a wealth of insight, a feeling of self-mastery, a feeling of luck, fortune, expansion around creating these boundaries. They reward us, they reward everyone. Uranus in your 7th house at 24 degrees Taurus is saying that ways that you never felt you would be open to loving again, you're feeling that way. Hina. There's again, this feeling of connection to love, but also I feel like a transition from the mundane into a greater potential for your day-to-day life. Mercury Day, 7th house, I think we're covered there. Moon is at 20 degrees Aquarius, and with Pluto in your 4th house, I sense that just your internal world is looking a lot more clean and tidy than it did even 2 years ago. And you're seeing these sweeping changes, and you're feeling them and reverberating them. So you have a new magnetism that is drawing to you people who show you more than they can tell you. Like, you can look at their actions and you can say, okay, this person's consistent, but it's like a whole new level of engagement. The right choice. You made the right choice. Make sure that if you come to a need to communicate something, again, you come from love, you have this very open expansion, but you're not going to get pulled into someone else's vortex. Like, you're not going to allow for someone else's story to become your own. You have boundaries now, which are very helpful to forging very interdependent, close connections without being codependent. So on Jupiter Day, Jupiter is at 1 degrees Gemini, so we are loving this sense of newfound benefit from connecting. Oh, maybe let's tap. I enjoy my new connections. My new connections reward me with a sense of capacity that goes beyond my doings. I'm connected with the divine and expanding in love and a sense of affirmation in my day-to-day life. Oh, I always miss this one. I have new reasons to smile. Scorpio, do you have new reasons to smile? That's awesome. We love that for you. So let's see, Jupiter at 1 degrees Gemini. Knots in a cord, they are a message in a code. That feels very cryptic. That feels very Scorpio's 8th house. It feels like maybe you're developing some new sort of product, maybe some new method of production. Again, with Aquarius being in your 4th house, like you might have a new way that you're using your home, and a new way that you are reinventing yourself in business, and a new way that you feel about it. You feel a different way about it than you have. The lion and the deer, it's a sacred dance, maybe even some sacrifice that is very much determined by like need rather than gluttony or power. Power's motivation is potentially going to resurface later this year, but we are in a very malleable place with Jupiter so close in orb to Venus. Our heart is more willing to remain open and to not shut down because of fear, because of outdated ways of thinking, because of competition. Pili Iko. Let's look at what this means. It looks like the woman's doing some offering to the water, to the moon, the emotions. Let's look at the emotions. Your fifth house, with the moon going into Pisces and Saturn and Neptune there, I sense that there's a lot of freedom coming from your emotional state. I was looking at Aquarius like it was your house of emotions, but I think that it's more of your vibration. So you don't let yourself go there anymore, Scorpio. And if you do, you have a light. Like you're the hermit. You're not just going into the dark, feeling stuck and disempowered. You have the light of a new hope, of a new means of communicating what you need, and understanding that some parts of your ego, your defense mechanisms, your protection can start to subside and break up because your vision's going further than it's gone. You guys are gaining a sense of know-how and skill and ability that's restructuring your beliefs. We just had that full moon in Sagittarius, so you guys are seeing that there are new ways to make money and to sustain your business without compromising on your heart and how open it is. Come Venus Day, Venus, it moves to 9 degrees, very close to the sun, following the sun. So we are following our heart, and that is leading to a change of boundaries. Again, power games are subsiding. The moon crosses Saturn, and we are surfing through the challenge to bring that spirituality, those spiritual morals and virtues into our day-to-day life, into our business, into our networking. Mars at 23 degrees is telling me that we're really having a sense of mastery over how we finesse our actions, how we allocate our day, and how we enjoy ourselves after having worked so hard. The courage of your love. Aww. It looks like you could see yourself moving through life with a new direction, with a clarity of direction. Maybe you've been lost for direction your whole life, and this is the first time that you feel so clear, so uniform, so aligned to your purpose and direction that you are beaming. You're beaming. Blue Tara, you're forgiving the past. You are looking at life as having reached a new dawn. And Venus at 9 degrees, Gemini from inside degrees is wildflowers growing around the ruins of a temple. So maybe the outdated sacrificing, the outdated self-compromising, compromising of your ego, your integrity, your emotional peace, you're allowing for new growth to change the way that you structure yourself emotionally and how you connect in your partnerships for the long-term contracts and agreements. How do we speak our reality into being with integrity and love? That will come up on Saturn Day with Mercury at a net 8. Whew. Oh my gosh, going so fast. In your 7th house, how do we speak love and life into our relationships, into our partnerships? There's also a nice series of Mars at 24 degrees Aries and Uranus at 24 degrees Taurus. It feels like I'm doing this, like maybe you're wringing out your old damp laundry that was getting moldy, and now it's like you have a new sense of, the wrist. So the other night I thought my wrist was like sprained because I started working out and didn't warm up, and I just held my wrist to my chest and I was like, okay, it'll be fine. And I feel that there is a sense of passion and invigoration that is coming through this wringing out of something that was really emotionally saturated, and it's allowing for you to walk with this grace, with this lift in your body. Oh my gosh. I just have to show you guys. The black cat has appeared. Betty with one eye has appeared for your reading. You're spiritually protected. There are lots of animals appearing. There's some small green birds that are flying, and they're together, and it's like you have this new amplified heart, and it's really allowing for you to attract a lot of sweet beings. I see a butterfly now. That was kind of scary. I wasn't prepared to see Fetty. I haven't seen him in a while. So on Saturday, the moon moves into Aries. So now it's like your day-to-day life picks up momentum, picks up speed. You're picking up on new beliefs and how to go about working through the world without such a burden on your back, a chip on your shoulder, a grimace on your face. We're not seeing that in Scorpio anymore. The birds have come to perch on the balcony. I wish I could, maybe I can show you guys. They're like walking on by over there. Oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. You can't even see them. Maybe that's also something you're wanting to capture more of your life, and you're wanting to document it because you can't believe how beautiful it's getting. This is lovely, Scorpio. What a nice turn. Yeah, on Saturday we see a growth and a new sense of stability in our ability to forge bonds, which feels like it's very new. There is a pyramid-looking shape on Sunday for you. The sun is at 12 degrees Gemini, so it's like now you know, and you can lean on and trust this partnership that is something that you've been working on, that required a lot of study, a lot of engagement mentally. Maybe you had to learn a new language. Maybe you've had to appear differently in your work environment and handle new communications, new clients. And they're loving what you're doing for them. I sense that you're going to get some very prophetic visions with the sun at 12 degrees and the south node in your 12th house at 12 degrees that will allow for you to champion your beliefs, to grow and to see what you're creating and how different it is and how different it feels because the attitude that you're taking within you is different. Scorpios, please keep me posted on what goes on for you this week. I would love to know, and have a fabulous week.